these cats don't understand. I'm lethal when I got the mic in my hand. Most of these cats don't understand. I'm lethal when I got the mic in my hand.
It ain't a problem.
Hit him with the heavy flow, like the levee broke. Need medical, professional, poetic tone. Primed up, let it go. Knock you off your pedestal, let it grow. Stop when we get it full. Eat these beats, they edible.
With the playoffs coming up, I want to give a quick quote for all the captains, refs, and admin. I can't give you a for sure formula for success, but I can give you a formula for failure. Try to please everybody all the time. Hello and welcome to another episode of USL After Dark. I'm your host, Kevin. Alongside with me tonight are my three co-hosts, Mountain, Mecca, and newly added, 10 minutes ago, Romulux. What's going on, guys?
Hey. Howdy.
Howdy. So yeah, we're here tonight to quickly go through last week, give our breakdown of next week, go over our dark topics, and everyone's favorite bottom three. So first, let's look at last week. We had K-Dude over Franco, 80-54 in a nice little match, actually, with Soul and Killer N Team. Thanks for that, guys. Appreciate that. Helping backs out. We had Macro over Evolution, 106-31. And we had Cocaine over Dark Slayers in the match of the week, 45-23. Normal week of matches. Let's just quickly go through our biggest takeaways from last week. I'll do mine first. So I think my biggest takeaway from last week was Sabo is still playing like a main character in a movie. The first couple weeks, he was a little shaky. He had a week off or two, and then he came back and played out of his mind. It's just a shame that he's stuck on Franco. But yeah, Mountain, what was your biggest takeaway from last week?
Brutal.
My biggest take was the Macro versus Evo match. I like how the CTFers all played against Evo. I think Chompy, Axie, and Ruler, they all broke about 20 kills, and they ended up farming Evo like it was like IO's landing. It's pretty crazy to see these guys who've played like less than one season beat people who've played 10 to 20 seasons and just stat pad them. So yeah, good job to those guys there on improving so quickly, so fast.
Yeah, they corralled him in there, the base a little bit over there. Yeah, but Rom, what was your biggest takeaway from last week?
If I can cheat, I kind of have two. I have, first of all, that this is a really competitive season. It's a lot more competitive than some of the past seasons. I want to piggyback off what Mountain just said, that Macrodata Refinement has come into this league and already been a very competitive squad, and so it's really fun to see four intensely competitive squads. And I think if Franco could get their shit together, they wouldn't be far behind them. So that's a first takeaway. My second is how vital Splitta actually is, I think, to Cocaine's success. If Splitta is playing at a high level, the rest of the guys are going to come through, and I think Cocaine can win this season if Splitta plays the way he did this past weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Splitta stepped up for sure. I know he took the week off last week. Had a couple other guys play for us. But yeah, if Split can play like that, he's going to do great things in the playoffs. But Mecca, what was your biggest takeaway from last week?
Mine was, it's kind of a question. My takeaway is kind of a question. Does Jim have the ceiling to be a top Marine in this league?
Oof. Should we answer that?
I'll open the floor. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's a question.
I think, yeah, for sure. I mean, if he's got to calm the lag down a little bit, but his aim and dodging is like by far amazing, in my opinion.
I absolutely have seen marked improvement in him just since the beginning of the season. Jim has gone, like, every single week he does seem to get better as he's practicing. The more games he gets under his belt, you see the improvement in positioning, and his aim is actually really good. And I wish the league would stop being such bitches. Back in the day, dude, when we had 56K fucking modems, everybody was chill. They understood that there's going to be a little lag here and there. And Jim's lag compared to just about anybody that I've ever played with from Europe or Australia is totally reasonable. It's only when it dramatically impacts the play that we should be looking at specking people. I think people just have to make an allotment for a little bit of lag. He's consistently, somebody said it, I think, on the USL podcast, he's better than Pandy. He is. He is better than Pandy consistently. So if we're going to let Pandy play, if we're going to let some of these other guys play that occasionally have lag issues, I think Jim needs to get a little bit more of a wide berth. That's my thought.
That's kind of where I was going to go for. I mean, back in the day, I hate to be nostalgic here, but people like all the Euros internet was way worse. You had people like Axel playing every game, and like Jim's lag is no worse than Axel's, and he played fucking Ripper, and we didn't give two shits about it because of what squad he was on. Yeah, and Sav from Australia was way worse than this, and he rarely got specced. And I think his lag, yeah, with Pandy like warping, sometimes Danny warps. There's been a few other players over the past couple seasons that have had random Brilhart. Um, Jim's lag is no worse than that, and it's not like you can't kill Jim. His bullets might go a little bit faster, but he dies in the right amount of bullets. Like he's rarely somebody who tanks bullets, even with his lag. But yeah, shout out to Jim. All the 3 a.m. Or whatever fucking time it is for him, 5 p.m. 3v3s, I think have really improved him this season.
What was your question again? Is there a ceiling on Jim?
Is Jim's ceiling a top Marine in the league?
I don't think so. I don't think he has what it takes. And I'll tell you why. Because okay, he's gotten better. It's his second season playing, right? Usually you become pretty good, but honestly, no one cares about your dueling. Like, what's that gonna do? Like, once you run into a really good player, they're just gonna shut you down with the angles and the pressure, right? So it's a good thing to have where you can fight like one versus ones, but like honestly, Jim's problem right now is he doesn't know how to pinch properly, and you know when you do damage to someone, how to just put pressure and chase them down and finish the kill off. Um, yeah, and I think a lot of players get stuck there where they just you kind of have to risk and reward push in, and maybe you're gonna die, maybe you're gonna live, but if you don't take the risk to do the pinch, then you just never get over the hump of this
So you
league.
think he's gonna plateau basically?
I think he's plateau. I think if he runs into like a good player, like for example you or an ESO, then they'll just shut him down with crossfire or getting an angle. Whereas like like for example, if you run into like an ESO or something, you know how to adjust and fall out and then refight for the angle. I don't think he has that.
I would tend to agree he does do that sometimes, but I mean, his first season was on Evolution or whatever the hell it was, the iteration of that. And then the second season is on Franco with no leader. So I understand where you're coming from, but I think if he played on a good squad, he's learning better habits.
He
So
needs
I
some
think there is a
tutelage.
possibility.
He absolutely
Exactly.
does.
He needs actual, like, I'm not saying he'd be on a soft squad, but if he was on a soft squad or like Birds or something like that with a real leader, even Dark Slayers, Jim on Dark Slayers with a real leader, I would like to see how far it can go. I'm not saying for sure he's a top Marine, or he definitely will be, but I would like to see him on an actual good squad with a leader and see what he can do.
Yeah, I think if you just give him a leader, like he can be better.
Yeah.
You know, like he doesn't have a leader right now. Even Macro, I think he or be good. But yeah, that's our take from last week. So let's go into my favorite topic that we go through is our bottom three players. Mountain, we'll have you start it off. We'll go Mountain, Rom, Mecca, then myself. I'll do mine last. So Mountain, who are your bottom three players from last week?
Okay. Number 3, I have TG. I know a lot of other people are gonna have him
Whoa.
as well here. I mean, getting kind of shitted on 3 or 4 times as a LMG against a Marine is not good. And I know you're gonna blame it on lag, but I mean, Jim doesn't lag that badly. So yeah, to get wrecked like that as a soloer, maybe TG took him too lightly or something like that. But I know TG is usually a very difficult person to fight one-on-one on the solo, but I mean, Jim just wrecked him. Um, so I have him as number 3. I have Uni as number 2. I mean, Uni just plays. I don't know if he's blind or if he can't see what's going on half the time. People keep saying, "Hey, Uni's got this new rezo and stuff like that." I think he's just the same player who just doesn't read the minimap properly. I know during our match, just kept him. We just caught him sleeping every single time. Like if you look at the Fosto play where Split picked him off on the north side, like Uni's just let me push right through and just pinch him from the other side. It was just a free kill. I mean, this guy never gets better. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he doesn't read the mini map or what it is, but it's not the thing that I don't like Uni. Uni's a nice guy, but he just doesn't listen to advice. And the number one person I have is Fausto. Um, yeah, I mean, we just mopped the floor with Fausto. I think he died like 3 or 4 times the entire match, every like first kill every match or every encounter.
Battle.
Yeah, I think what happened with Fausto was he was trying to predict that I was going to come around the corner, but as a soloer. But I mean, I already thought that out what he was going to do, and we just changed our play up a little bit on the top side there. And yeah, whatever he thought was going to happen didn't happen, and we just picked him off multiple times. The other part of it was that when they were down, they didn't push into us. I think I stood at the top of the middle road and I spun in a circle for a good 3 minutes, waiting for someone to fight me, and then we started pushing them again. So yeah, you got to fight it out if you're losing, right? So
Gotcha. Yeah, I think Fosso he went 4-4, so it's not terrible. But yeah, I can see him. He was the leader, so that's fine if you're bottom three. But Rom, first time giving out your bottom three. Let's hear it. What do you got?
For in descending order, going from number 3 here, I would say Pandy is probably my number 3. 4-12 on the week was not a great showing. I don't know that the number even accurately reflects how he played. Kills were an issue, but he contributed a lot of the kills. It was the deaths that were the real problem for him. He was really over aggressive, I think, and put himself in some rough positions that he didn't have to. And the worst is none of us started off playing well, I don't think, but Pandy had some problems in the middle, right when we were starting to like make a turn. He was one of the first deaths in that time period. And that was, I thought, difficult for us to absorb. Second, I would say was Typhoon. First of all, I just disagree with his demo call for the week. I don't think that was the right class for him to play. I think he should have stuck to any of the other classes with a gun. I think he's a really, really good team shooter for Darkslayers, and he needed to be more productive than 2 and 7 in particular on this week. This was a big week for him to show out. And demo, I don't think he contributed nearly enough on demo to justify it being in the game and not him on a gun. And then my number one would probably be myself. I had an awful game. And I had most of my deaths I think were with the team and dying in the course of just the battle, which I don't pick and I that kind of thing. But there are 4 or 5 that were certainly questionable, and 2 or 3 of those are just awful. And you, as a medic, you cannot have those deaths. And especially when my team was trying to be so competitive. I thought I got better towards the end of the game, but god damn did I put us in a bad position in the beginning, and I just got to own that. So I'll put myself as number 1.
All right. I mean, putting yourself in there for your first time, that's kind of interesting. I like it. The Typhoon one was definitely interesting because I know King likes to play Grenader and then switch off the demo. He can play either war, but yeah, I don't think Typhoon should be demo. But yeah, Mecca, who is your bottom 3 from last week?
I had very similar ones. Pandy 4-12. Not only did he go 4-12, but he took Soul off Ripper, who I thought was doing pretty well at the beginning, and then they switched class. And I mean, Soul's a good Marine too, but I thought Soul was doing real damage as Ripper, and it was really close when he was Ripper. And the tides kind of changed once Pandy switched over. Number 2, I also have Typhoon, not just the demo pick, but going 2 and 7. I don't think that was necessarily his call to go demo. I know he likes playing it, but I know X5 Interior will love to have demo on that map, which they're not wrong.
Not to interrupt you, Mecca, but if you listen to USL Live podcast, Fausto said that Typhoon told him he was going to play demo, and Fausto just didn't rebuff him. He didn't even argue with him. He just said okay, and then he played it. And he thought he was going to switch at some point, and he never did. That's what I understand Fausto to have said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's probably even worse then, because it clearly wasn't working. He wasn't really hitting anything. I know we rolled over him a few times. It wasn't very pretty. And then my last one would be Molo. I think it's a combination of Molo and Typhoon here too, because Molo went 3-7, and I think in that lineup they're probably their two best killers. I mean, Tyrion's good too, but Tyrion's more of a support guy. So when you have your two top killers from seasons past going 2-7 and 3-7 combined, it's just not a good look. You're not going to win a lot of games like that, and you're especially not going to beat a team like K-Dude or Cocaine like that. So that'd be my bottom three.
Gotcha. Yeah, Typhoon, again, probably better off just playing LNG like he has in the past. I don't
He's
think they
a
had
really
an LNG
good
in game.
LNG. Really
Yeah,
good.
I don't think they didn't have one in. It looks like I don't think Fausto won it, or I mean, with
No.
no
I think
Naga there or anything.
he would have been more effective even as an AT. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, even that. Just having a gun, like continuously shooting, for sure.
Yeah, gun was
But
not
yeah,
for the.
I'll do my bottom three. I have actually three different names than what you guys have put in there.
Whoa!
Yeah, wild, crazy. But yeah, so my number three is Ace. Ace going 1-8. Kind of tough. I mean, you're on a squad that's gets a shit ton of kills. They know how to leech. They know how to get that last bullet in there. So it was a tough week to pick a bottom three, but Ace is my number three. Number two, hopefully this guy is going to be PMing me tomorrow or whenever he hears this. But Havoc. Havoc is my number two. Not having the best season this season. After leaving Cocaine preseason, I don't know if it's the style change from the Dark Slayers players or just like the leading. But he died first a couple battles. I think he led the team in deaths. I think he had 7 deaths. But he was dying to wall snipes from Split. He was dying to 40s from me. But yeah, Havoc is my number two. My number one. Oh man, you're in this one. I don't want to make you feel bad, but Trax. Sorry, Trax. You're 2-14 as demo.
Oof.
Yeah. It's one thing if you're hitting people, if you're calling it out like, hey, shoot Rio, I hit him, and then your teammates can finish the kill. That's one thing if you're doing it. But if you're missing everything, you're not calling it out, calling who you hit. Just do better, Trax. I know you're having fun, so it's not really a big deal. But I do have you as my top bottom three player, if you will, of the week. So yeah, that's my bottom three. So if we have nothing else going on with that bottom three, let's go into next week matches. Next week we'll be playing on Urban Decay once again. Urban Decay is also going to be the championship map, which is will be interesting to see
Quite the
how that
announcement.
plays out. Yeah, breaking news: Urban Decay championship map. I don't know if that was said on the other podcast, but we said it here on After Dark.
We break news here.
We break it. So yeah, we have a first match up is Macro Data at K-Dude, scheduled for 9:30. We'll start with Mountain. How do you see this one shaking up?
I think this one's going to be a blowout. K-Dude has home on this one, and from the take I got from Angelus, that they're going to be playing their regular guys to get some experience. So I don't think it's going to work out, especially on this map, which Sov's roster, TG's roster is really good at playing on. Yeah, I think this is going to be a blowout. Probably going to look at like 80-30. Yeah, you'll probably have again Colossal and Eric doing really, really well on this map, and I just don't see this being close.
Yeah, I hear you. Not a big breakdown. You don't need to. It's cool. But Rom, Macro at K-Dude, 9:30. How do you see this one?
Yeah, I agree with Mountain. I think it's going to be a route for K-Dude generally. I just don't think MDR has what it takes right now to get it done against a team of that caliber, especially if K-Dude plays their lineup sans ace. I just would like to call out, I thought Hollow had an incredible performance last week. I think Ruler played really well. They've got some pieces I didn't know they had. Necessarily from previous weeks, so that was interesting to see. And if Axis plays really well, he could be a big swing in this game as also. So I think there are a few guys that if they show up and play amazingly, maybe they have a better chance than I think they do. And I would hope so. If Rio is there, he'll turn the tide by himself quite a bit. But for right now, I'd have to say I don't think they're going to have enough in the tank. Do we know where Albert is? Is he hopefully going to make it for this game?
I think games are too late
No
for him
idea.
now.
Yeah.
What was
He's,
that?
he's on maritime time, so he's an hour ahead of Eastern. So I think
Mhm.
the games are just too late, from what I heard.
Man, because he's such a big part of their success. Like, I really
Yeah.
liked the beginning games from the season when he was a big part of that the attack.
He was leading a
Um,
lot too for them.
Yeah,
Him and Yosh kind of trading back and forth
they're a better team with him in, I think.
for
So.
sure.
No, for sure. He's a veteran in the past for sure. He knows how to lead. He knows most of the maps. But he's an MVP type player for sure for their squad. Was that all he had for that one?
Yep.
Yeah, K dude, right? In a blowout or a 40-point game, you said?
I don't know, but yeah, that probably sounds about right. About 30.
Okay.
Hopefully they can keep it at 30, but 40 sounds like probably the upper threshold.
Gotcha. All right. Mecca breakdown macro at K dude.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. Obviously, they'll have a better lineup than they did against Evo. Everything says that K Dude is going to blow them out, but with the way K Dude played against Franco, I think MDR has a better roster than Franco does, and Franco kept it close a lot of that game. So I'm not sure it's going to be blowout. I'm definitely taking K Dude to win, but I think MDR will be more competitive than what people think.
Any score? You had a differential at all? I know you
Yeah,
had
we'll go
K-Dude winning.
22. Let's go 20. K Dude wins by 22.
All right, I like it. So yeah, I have this one breaking down where K dude also wins. However, I know Angelus likes to break down every match. I think he'll break down how Franco did with K dude. I know K dude played the map a little bit differently than what they're used to. They like to send their solos. They did send their solos, but they got caught off. You know, it was like Jim versus TG, and Jim dominated TG every battle that he had. I think there was 3 battles where Jim just put the onslaught on TG. TG had the confidence, and then Jim just showed, "Hey, I'm better than you. I'm Australian, mate." That's what he said. I heard it.
I heard it literally.
He said it to me 10 minutes ago when he was on here. But yeah, K-Dude's gonna win this one. But I know Angelus is gonna break down the video constantly this week. I know we'll see how it goes, but I do see K-Dude winning by at least 30. I think that's the range we'll like to see. I love the way Exodus is playing. I think he's my pick for K Beast of the year. If I had to pick one, maybe he plays Ripper on this one. Like try to mimic what Soul did. You know, doesn't have to get the kills, but is just there to keep the team at bay, not to let that flank come through. But yeah, so I see K Dude winning this one.
I one more comment on this about Jim holding TG solo angles, and you're switching out Jim for Chompy now, and Chompy's going to be their soloer, so they can probably run a very similar game plan as what Franco did.
No, absolutely. Chompy has that aim, has that dodge. Whoa, voice crack. But yeah, Chompy is that player that can do that for sure. I definitely agree with that.
He's that guy. Yeah.
He's him. Jim was him. Now Chompy has to be him. But yeah, next one on the slate is Cocaine at Evolution at 10:15. We'll go through it. We don't normally go through the Evolution games, but there's only 3 games on this one, so we'll have Matt give me a breakdown. Not Cocaine at Evolution at 10:30.
I'm just gonna say it's laundry time. It's gonna be a stat pad 100 to 15.
Love it. Is that it? Is that your breakdown?
Maybe they'll get try some camps and stuff like that. You know, maybe it'll work for the first 10 minutes and then the game will just get opened up. I want to say more, but honestly, at this point, Evolution's been 120 every match, so.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Rom, you got to break down. You played with a couple of these guys. How do you feel this one shaking up?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little worse than Mountain's even saying. I think it's going to be the 110, 120 range. But I just want to. Draco had the best response when he said, "I just want to see the way they play. Like they just need to keep fights a little more competitive for just a little bit longer. That's what I want to see, and maybe every now and then win a battle. That would be marked improvement for them." Because it's been a rough season, and their morale is apparently holding strong. But these guys need to catch a break.
No, I hear you. We'll just Mecca. What do you think? Cocaine
Not much.
evolution.
Not much to add.
I hear you. All right. I will add. I want like Draco's playing well. Iceman. I want to see him play well against us. Just follow whoever's leading. Just follow what they say. That's all I want to see. Evolution is what they do. Just follow the leader. You don't have to get kills as long as you look cohesive or like.
Can I ask
like
the panel a question
Oh,
on this game,
yeah, go
just to
ahead.
make it more?
Yeah.
What would you think about Abyss switching to the second medic role instead of that, dude? Would anybody disagree with that?
No.
No.
Like
think
to
that
me,
would
that's
be
an obvious, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
if they
I-
take one thing from this, I wish they would listen to this. It is an obvious choice to make Abyss your second medic and ask that dude to play literally anything else.
Yeah, that dude can play Ripper. Like I've seen him do it. Like he's like Marine. Like it's okay, whatever. But like his stationary Ripper is like the stationary sniper. He's a great sniper. He can play Ripper. Maybe he does that, and they get Abyss in there as medic, and then Chica as medic. I think you have a chance to do something.
Yeah, if I can expound upon that a little bit more too. I know that Evo never SBs, but that dude literally not sign on during the week either. So there's not really any reason to play him at all. At any class, I think. It's been an experiment for 5 seasons. Nothing's changed. I just cut the cord and start somebody else.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if they show 8 and he's in there, obviously. If they show 9, maybe Bowen has it or Smack has a decision to make. Who to start. But moving on, let's go to our
Before you
match of the week.
before you on,
Go
maybe
ahead, Mountain, go
maybe
ahead, go
this
ahead.
I don't know who Draco is, but maybe someone can shed some light on who this person is and like is he good? Like I don't know. People keep talking about him being
He is an
like a decent
NML
player.
legend and a
You don't
legend
know
in the past.
Dracolic?
Yeah,
Draco?
he's good. He was
Yeah.
good.
He
Oh,
was on
dude,
Warhawks spec on SOE too, and
Yeah.
access denied early for infantry. He's always been a pretty good player. Definitely deserves to be on a mid-tier squad.
Absolutely. The only reason he's not, I think, is because this is one of his first seasons back in quite a while. Because he's an OG for sure.
Yeah. For
Yeah,
sure.
I think he went to a familiar face with Bowen, and he got caught out in just a bad situation. So that's what I think for Draco.
Hmm.
Yeah, he is good for sure. But yeah, we'll move on to our match of the week. I think, in my opinion, I think everybody else might agree. But we have Dark Slayers at Franco. It's actually scheduled. Thank you, Bax, for scheduling this match on
Whoa.
a whatever.
Way to go, Bax.
Whoa!
Let's give him a-
Breaking news. Breaking news. Match scheduled for 11 o'clock. But yeah, we have Dark Slayers at Franco. But we have Mountain to start this one off. Let's. What do you think about this match of the week?
You know what? Every week I keep saying Franco is gonna win, and I've lost every week on my prediction for it. But I'm gonna say this is the week they finally win against a
You think
mid-tier
you're
team,
doing it?
top team.
Is it your fault?
They're
I
doing
think it's
it.
my fault. I should have said the opposite. Maybe they would have won more, but I'm calling it this week. They're going to win against Dark Slayers, and I'll tell you why. Because I saw a Ninja message on Discord, and I think he's coming back because he was away for a month playing Star Wars or something like that. So I think he's going to come back and play this match. And yeah, I think they have home on this matchup as well.
You do.
I heard a rumor that Kaga and Typhoon are having an argument and he's not showing up. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's basically what I heard. So I think Bax's team has a chance to win this fight here. I would say that they should change their roster up a little bit there, like how they're running their lineup. People keep saying that like Pandy's inconsistent and keeps dying or whatever, and they keep doing a top 3 bad play on them or whatever, just move him to demo. He's a mouser. Get Penny to play demo on the bottom. Looks like Sabo's doing very well on the north side, and I mean Jim played very well as a soloer, so you have pretty decent people to fight over the top for you. And Penny's not a bad player. He can hold the bottom choke without dying, so I would get rid of the Ripper and throw in the garbage. That meta doesn't work. So I'm saying Franco will win this one, 30-27. Oh, sorry, and then before I go, that bench cup, that guy, that's another person too. People keep talking about who's some type of like old legend or something like that. I don't know, never heard of him.
Yeah, I think it was
But
iCup.
well,
I don't. Yeah,
He wasn't a
ICUP.
legend. He's just an old
yeah.
player.
Yeah,
yeah, I was
no,
watching him play a
legend.
bit
Isn't he
there,
a-
and
Is he a grab baller originally? Is
Oh,
that right?
NML, dude. Porn stars.
NML. Okay.
Yeah, no man's land, baby.
legend or no legend, I think he's too rusted or whatnot. He doesn't know what he's doing right now. So I would keep him on the bench and put Rom and Apollo on the med side there to win you the fight. Because I think this match has playoff implications too, right? I think if
Yeah.
Darkslayers loses, they get shifted to fight Franco, if I'm
Yeah.
mistaken. But I
It
don't know.
does.
I'll let
Yeah,
someone else go on.
yeah. Darkslayers needs to win.
Yeah, if
Basically.
Franco wins, they just have a rematch next week against DS.
Or, yeah, they want to win. Like they
And
don't
it'd
want to
be a
play. Darkslayers doesn't want to play Franco again.
check this
you
out.
know?
It'd be a grudge match, rubber match. I like it. Anyway.
Grudge rat. Say that 3 times
No.
fast. Was that your breakdown, Mountain? Do you have anything else on that?
No, I'm not done. Thank you.
Yeah. So Rom, go ahead. You're on Franco. So what do you think?
Yeah, I am. It would be cool to get an upset here. I definitely think Darkslayer's the favorite, no question right now. I maybe they've been slipping a little bit, but no, I still think they're the favorites. I don't know if we'll get our shit together. I don't know. We're practicing a little more, but not as a squad, just playing every night. I don't know if Ninja shows up. That's big. That'll be really big. He's an excellent player, and he comes in with no practice and dominates. It's pretty incredible. And if Pandy can control his deaths, man, I hear what you're saying about the demo, but I just want him to control his deaths and be the leading killer he absolutely can be. I've said this in the past, but like nobody doesn't respect what Pandy is capable of doing. Everybody's seen it. He is a really good player who just has really off days, and they happen to be in
On
playoffs a
Sundays.
lot. But yeah, on Sundays too. But I hope we get it together. I do think Bax has been playing better, and I think that he realizes LMG or Marine is where he needs to belong. So. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun game. I think it's the 11 o'clock. So everybody stick around and for the entertainment.
Yeah, we'll definitely be watching this one. Playoff implications. Mecca, what's your breakdown? We got Darkslayers at Franco. 11
Yeah,
o'clock.
I'm kind of really disheartened by Darkslayers right now too. I think they've had a rough couple weeks, and I think their confidence is pretty down. And Franco, I think even though they lost and there's no moral victories, they definitely took last week as a moral victory. If Franco can show Ninja, and I know there's talks about Hop being back as well, Franco and DS's lineup are not dissimilar. I think they're pretty close. If you have like Bax, Hop, Pandy, Sabo, Ninja, and then T's probably not going to show up, but like Jim, if you can show, or BB to lead, something like that, and then maybe Stav shows, or Apollo Rom. I think that can hang with DS. I don't think this is DS's best map either. So I think if Pandy doesn't feed, if he does go demo, plays a little slower, I think Franco might take this one. This is the first time I've bet on Franco all season, and I think this is the week. I think this is the week they take the upset.
What
Whoa.
you mentioned something there that I just want to ask about, which is the Skeletor Havoc combo. I thought they were awesome in the K-Dude match. We talked about it a lot, how good they were. And then the cocaine match, it was like the exact inverse. What the hell happened there? I don't understand.
I think Havoc overall has had an up and down season, and I think Skeletor too kind of always is up and down. So if you catch him on a bad week, it looks really bad. Most weeks it's fine. sometimes good. But if it's down, it's real down. And when your meds are eating law snipes and just not able to heal and getting killed all the time, I think it makes a big difference. So I think it's just inconsistency in their play, and different leaders too throughout the week. Because I know Fossil doesn't show up too much during the week. It's usually like X5 leading, so it could be a playstyle thing too. There's just a lot of factors that go into it.
I agree. I think it's a
'Cause,
playstyle thing. I think with
and
Havoc you have a really aggressive med, and with
Yep.
Dead you have a very passive med. And Havoc wants to fight all the time, because I just know it from playing with him on cocaine. He just used to fighting constantly.
And I think if
it's-
Stav shows, he's clearly the best med on spec. And I don't think it's particularly close.
No, I don't either. Definitely.
Yeah, I have the same take as you guys. If like Ninja needs to show in order for Franco to win. If he doesn't show, there's no shot at Franco winning. If he does show, the percentage goes up a lot, like significantly. Depends on he can play whatever class he wants too. Like if he wants to play demo, if he wants to play AT, I know he loves AT right now. In the past 3 games that he's played, I think it's been AT. That's his aim is on point. He will if he's 1v1ing someone, he'll hit you 3 times minimum. If he's on point, he's the catalyst for Franco, I think, in my opinion. Dark Slayers, I know, as I said before, my bottom 3 player, Havoc, I want to see him show up this week. I know he's a ex-cocaine player, but he's got to show up and play well in order for Dark Slayers to compete if Ninja shows up. But I do see, as I said, if Dark Slayers, or excuse me, if Ninja shows, I still see Dark Slayers winning. I'll give it a 12-point victory for Dark Slayers if Ninja shows. If no Ninja, it's going to be a blowout. I see like a 30-40 point victory for Dark Slayers, in my opinion. Anybody else have anything else on next week matches before we get into our dark topics?
Would you start? Let me talk. Would you
go
start
ahead.
Jim for Franco?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. If he's on, no, I think just if he's on, yeah, 100%.
I think you have to after last week.
Yeah,
I think it becomes a hard decision depending on who shows. Like if BB shows and offers the lead, it gets weird if Ninja shows too. So it it's a hard decision there.
It's a little interesting, like who shows, but I still think,
well, it's not
like,
Easter
who's their
weekend, so I
8?
think we definitely get. I think we'll have 10 there, at least 9 or 10. So
It's
that
just a matter of,
becomes,
like, it's, yeah,
if Jim's
like,
available.
because who's there? Like they have. Here, I'll go over like a quick 8 would be like if they show, it would be like Hop, Big Bird, Apollo. I'll just throw Jim in there for now. Ninja would be 5. Bax, Pandy. Then you have Rom Sabotage. Sabotage is going to be playing there.
Yeah, Sabotage is
it's-
definitely playing there. You see the
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah. So I guess it depends on who shows.
Yeah,
Hop is kind of out there right now, so you don't know where he's at, where his head's at.
Yeah, Hop is allegedly playing, but if they show all those people, does Bax just start Jim over Hop? It's a tough
I kind of
decision.
wonder if it.
That's-
I mean, Pandy is a definite consideration as well right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's a
He's
risk
definitely a
reward with Pandy,
liability.
though, right? Like Pandy can dominate a game,
He
or at least
can.
a couple battles.
He absolutely can.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
a matter
no.
of who you maybe you got to put him with Sabo. Like just play with Sabo, like Sabo, Pandy, and whoever's the medic, either Rom or who's the other medic you guys
Stav
got?
or
All
Apollo.
stuff.
Yeah, Stav. If Stav shows, you got to play him. Obviously,
You gotta.
I would like to see Stav and Rom play as medics. Obviously, Rom, you're here, but that's not being biased. I think you guys are the. And yeah, it's just a matter of what do you do with Apollo then? That's the thing. Does he play Marine? Interesting. Bax has a lot to go over with his squad this week, even though he doesn't do anything with the squad any week. So that's something for him to think about. But yeah, we can go into our dark topics. Yeah, Yeah, let's do our. Are we? I have a special guest here for our dark topic here right now. I'd like to introduce Pistor to our dark topics.
Oh,
What's up,
Hello?
Pistor?
Pistor,
the product
Pistor, you want to
sound.
give a Pistor? Let's give me a dark topic that you have since you wanted to join so a little bit late here.
Yeah, I was recently banned from this, well, silenced from this Discord for 6
Damn.
days.
Free Pistor.
Crazy.
And the reason behind it, and I'm sure staff will take a look at it later on or whatnot, but I already filed my appeal with Fausto because what I did, I don't think it's a reason to get banned for.
Luckily, you have a lawyer right here, right now. Tell me what happened.
All right. So basically, what happened was Angelus asked in captain's chat if we could put up EC for his squad to practice. I said, typically, we put the following week's map on Sunday or after, or like sometimes we do it on Mondays, but typically it's always Sundays right after the matches. Then Bowen said he'll try to put up the map, and that's where I disagreed. I'm like, we have to stay consistent. Like, I understand that Bowen has bent the knee for Angelus and for the CTF people a couple of times, and I provided 2 examples. The first example was when Angelus wanted to increase the roster space. And magically, a couple days later, Bowen did that. Now, I'm sure Bowen can say, like, hey, yeah, eventually I was going to do it. But he did it right after Angelus' request. And I screenshotted that, and then I posted it. Another thing he did was that Angelus, at the beginning of the season, I don't know if you guys remember, but it was supposed to be 10 weeks, 10-week season. I said, like, hey, this is a second example where you try to please Angelus once again. And at the beginning it was 10 weeks, like I said, and he changed it to 8 weeks. Other than that, he's considering that I'm trying to troll the staff, troll anything, which I don't see how I'm trolling if I actually have the screenshots to back it up. I'm literally saying what was said.
Can I respond to each of those? Is it all right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So I'm privy to, I have access, thankfully, to just about every single chat. And so I'm on staff and I see all these. I don't know, I don't know if you're on staff as well. All of these were brought up in staff chat. Originally, the 10-week season, Bowen asked staff about to weigh in on. It was quite literally said out loud that the CTF guys weren't interested in a 10-week season because they wanted to play their league too, and they didn't want to wait that long to start their league. And so there was a compromise done to make USL 8 weeks long so we could get, first of all, we wanted to get more matches in each night. And everybody was worried about burnout too with a 10-week long season. That's just too long. We're not an actual sports league. Like we have other shit to do. So that was addressed in staff. It was a universal agreement that 10 weeks was pretty much, there was maybe one voice that said otherwise, that 10 weeks was too long. And we all voted for an 8-week season. And then they drafted the schedule and we all said yes to it. The next one you said was roster size. Once pretty much every squad had 12 and a little more, maybe 13 or so, Angela said, hey, I got some guys from CTF that want to come over here, but they only want to play on my squad. So could we make room for them? He asked everybody. Everybody had plenty of players for their squad. It wasn't an issue. And it was, again, in staff universally agreed that, like, it's not going to change anything for these to be upped. Why not? And I don't think it's really led to any major conflicts. Maybe you can tell me otherwise, but I certainly voted and said, yes, he should do it. And then the final is the map. I know of several instances in the past where MP has put up maps that were not in rotation for other people to play on or experiment on. I know that that's the case. And then I also would say that I don't think that's a rule or anything. Did I get cut off there? I may have. Okay, yeah. I don't think it's a rule
You're
or
good.
anything that we can't have a map up alternatively. I mean, we don't. I think that's like a custom. I think you're exactly correct on the custom, but I don't think a custom makes a rule. There's nothing that says that has to be the way that it is. And particularly for CTF players who don't know these maps, I know EC like the back of my motherfucking hand. And these CTF guys don't. So I think it's really fair for them to have the advantage of getting exposure to the map that we've had for literally 52 seasons. Well, not EC's 52 seasons, but something like 30 seasons. They get a chance to look at it. I think that's super fair.
Okay, can I respond to all three statements?
I'm great with it. Bring it. Let's go.
Okay, so the first thing was about roster size. I don't have access to staff chat. I only see captain's chat, which right now I'm not part of. I can't see captain's chat, but luckily I have a great memory. In captain's chat, they wanted to increase the roster, not because of CTF players, like he's saying. He specifically said, I would like to increase the roster because I have some USLers that wants to join me. So it wasn't really CTF players that all of a sudden they won't play without him. And I never brought it up because that really doesn't bother me. I really don't care about the roster
Oh,
space.
okay. Just to respond really quickly, I don't know. I guess we have just a disagreement of fact because my memory, the only memory that I have, is that Angelus was the one that approached with the question in the very beginning and said, "Hey, this is my situation." That's what spurred on the entire conversation. So, yeah, we may just have to in terms of our disagreement, end it there because that was my memory.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like I said, like I provided a screenshot for it. You could also on Discord, there's like a search feature for it. So right below the screenshot, you'll see him saying like, "Hey, I have USLers that wanted to join." But regardless, I have no issue with that. I was just providing an example of when Angelus requests something, Bowen typically does it. Maybe it might be coincidence. The whole roster scenario of him increasing it. I know we have done it multiple times. It's not the first time that he has done it. But the only thing was that when Angelus asked for it, at that specific time, Bowen was, okay, let's do it right away. Yeah, so those are the two. And then the three about map changes or putting in the map previously. I'm pretty sure if Bax or anyone else would ask, "Hey, can we put this next week's map up?" the answer would have been no or whatnot. I do agree. There is no rule on what we can or can't put up previously, and I completely agree with that. And I never mentioned like, "Hey, there's this made up rule." The only thing I said was consistently we have never done it before. Like historically, we never added a map till like after or on Sunday after all matches were done. That's the only thing I have said. So I don't understand why he thinks I was trolling. Oh, and the one last thing was that uh, Ace was actually talking on Captain's Chat. Now he's admin of Infantry Gaming or whatnot, which is fine, but I'm pretty sure Captain's Chat is specifically for captains to speak on only, and that was my only concern. Was like, hey, historically, we never added a map before Sunday. Other than that, I didn't say anything wrong.
So you got banned for 6 days, is what you said for that? For saying
I
those
got
things?
for Bowen. Yeah, Bowen said like I was trolling him, and you could see everything on Captain's Chat, and I was silenced for 6 days. And like I said, I already told Fausto if he could reconsider my silence on like before when the podcast started, when After Dark started, I couldn't even join the Discord because I don't know what happened between in like 20 minutes or so, but something must have changed in the silence. But now I don't see Captain's Chat. I don't see the timer where it says like I'm been silenced for 6 days. It just says that I just can't talk on this chat. That's what it says. I'm not sure the specifics of that.
Boom. Roasted.
All right, Pistor, thanks for your dark topic. Mountain, what's your dark topic?
I mean, that was a long topic there, but I would say just before you go on, the maps just need to be random. There's too many people manipulating things, and I mean, I get the whole point of playing on EC. like the 50th time of playing EC. I don't know how people don't get bored of playing this stupid map every single season. You know, MP made a couple new maps there. Regardless of how many people are manipulating everything, just run it through the rotation. I mean, like I said, like I don't want to play EC for like the 51st time in the playoffs again. And I get the whole new player thing, but yeah, this is just boring to me. So I don't know.
So what would you do? What would your how would you make the playoff
Just put it into a
maps?
randomizer. You know, A, B, C,
Okay,
D, all the
I got
maps,
you.
and then
I like that.
randomize it for whatever comes up. Right?
What if
That's
it
good.
was
How would you pick?
EC twice in a row?
What would you
You
do? What
would
would you?
remove it though, right? From when you get it picked.
Oh, you're saying once it gets picked, you take it out and then you just randomize the rest?
Yeah.
Okay, I understand now. Okay.
How would you pick an advantage for coming in first for map selection or anything, or would you just have like the first seed get home, or would you do anything with that?
I like the old-fashioned way of. Well, the first round should be, you know, standings as it is, and then I think it should go back to the old way of just the duels. Like it's just simple, fast, 1 versus 1, just ends everything very quickly.
Gotcha.
I disagree
And
with
if
the
you're gonna go
duels.
into the 3 versus 3 thing, then the 3 versus 3 fighting for the playoffs, it's just gonna come down to how passive you are. You can just sit in the rocks the whole 3 versus 3 and not push, and then whoever makes a mistake wins it, right?
Isn't that the
I
same
think
with
we're
a duel
doing
though?
in mid, so it's gonna be in mid, like
Yeah,
EC
and you
mid. I
can't
think is
leave
what it's
mid.
been. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can just sit in the corners, and what are you gonna do? Who
I
runs out
mean,
of
you could do
ammo
that in a
first?
duel too. Just be like backs and sit on the bottom wall.
True. I think there's ways around like all like whatever you do. Like you be passive on anything that you do. I like the 3v3 because it involves at least teamwork. It's not relying on one person.
Yeah, I think 3 versus 3 is just more reflective of the actual game. I still don't think it's very reflective, but you know, every once in a while there's a 3 versus 3 battle in mid. Like how often are you having a duel where it's, you know, just the duel and nobody else is interfering?
Yeah, how often are you gonna have a Jim versus TG where Jim comes out on top? You know, not very often. Except 3 times in one match.
5 times in a row, apparently. Yeah.
I think a med should be in that 3 versus 3 because that way, if you're one
Yeah,
of the
that'd be cool.
Marines there, then you can turn the corner and put pressure on the fight instead of just
That's
hiding behind the
interesting.
rock.
So
Meds
That
are
might be better.
underrepresented, damn
Yeah.
it. There's no meds in overtime. There's no meds in the 3 versus 3 duels. We need some respect for the meds out here.
It might be good in a 3v3. Yes, I agree with that actually, because that makes the more game like. I think.
and it makes you choose which, you know, are you going to run as a 3 stack? Are you going to go 2 and 1? There's some strategy to that.
True. Yeah. Who's gonna be your medic? You can only use. You
Yeah.
know, if you only have two like good
And you
medics,
have to,
that third
yeah,
battle. You know.
exactly. Well, I think you could reuse a player in the third battle, though, right? So, oh, maybe
Yeah.
you're saying you can't if it's
I think you.
medics.
I think you can. I think you have to go new player every time if you have enough players on. I think if you have 8 players, then you can do one. I guess.
Yeah, right
It
now I
depends
think
on how
it
many you have on.
has to be unique.
Yeah,
That'd be interesting.
for sure.
Other team gets
Uh,
apparently other team gets to pick if you don't have a 9th person. The other team gets to pick who you want in. So
Just
Yeah, that'd be
a quick
crazy.
comment. Just a quick comment about the whole map situation too. Bowen did that 2 seasons ago, where he randomized it, and I believe he was premature with that too, because once he randomized it, he did it alone without it being live, right? And not only that, but I guess like the map that was randomly selected, people didn't like, and then he went ahead and started asking the captains like, "Hey, a lot of captains don't like this map. What should we do?" My vote was like, "Hey, it was even though I personally don't like that map either, it was randomly selected, so let's just go with it." I guess he got a lot of votes of captains saying like, "Hey, you know, it was randomized, so let it be." Then he went back on that and said like, "Oh, I completely forgot to add one more map, so I'm gonna randomize it once again." And that's the last time he randomized anything.
When you say without it being live, is your implication that Bowen changed the results of the randomizer?
I don't think so, but from my understanding, or at least from like the suggestions on Captain's Chat when that was done, it was supposed to be live on USL. Like it's something cool, something unique of it. Like like when you guys have like your predictions of like what squads are gonna rank, how they're gonna place, and whatnot. Then they were just going to be. He was just gonna do it at the end, supposedly. But eventually, on the second time around, he actually did it live in front of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he would like be malicious and actually
I don't know, man.
change
Bowen's
it
a
or
sneaky
anything
little
like that.
bitch.
I
That's for sure.
can't speak on that.
All right, I want to give everybody a chance to get their dark topic. Ram, you have a dark topic?
Yeah, where and how do we get more leaders in this game? I think people just don't want to do the job. We were talking about it during the matches this weekend. So how can we encourage people to start leading and learning how to do that gig?
The one thing I would say to that is apparently Chompy did lead MDR versus Evo this week.
He did.
So maybe we have a new
A
leader.
burgeoning leader. Yeah.
Possibly.
I think the leaders are out there. It's just a matter of who wants to do it.
Yeah.
Like on MDR, you have Fausto, you have Manu, Cocaine. You have probably like 5 people that can lead.
6, yeah.
Yeah, like it's like K Dude. You have pretty much like you have TG, you have Sav. Eric can lead if he wants to. I think even like Ernie could probably lead if he wants to. So they're out there. It's just a matter of who wants to do it. That's what it comes down to.
Is there a correlation then? The more people that you have as leaders on your team, the better your team can potentially perform?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, that's a good question. But
I think absolutely, because you always have people calling the shots on the side and stuff.
People
Like,
who see the battlefield more.
yeah, like for instance on Cocaine this season we have 6 leaders. So if you were to listen in on a match on Cocaine, there's 6 people talking. But not in a bad way. Like when I was on Franco, there's 6 people talking, but people who don't lead were talking and just kind of muddying up the comms. Whereas on Cocaine, and I'm sure it's catered the same way, it's 6 people talking, but they've all led before, so they are making good calls. So I think you have to ride a fine line of how many leaders you have. Are people talking, I guess.
yeah, I like it. Did anybody have any questions that they want to have? Mountain, did you get any questions from anybody?
Yeah,
that you
I
want
have
to-
2.
Yeah, I think
I'll do
you
Splits
can
one
do
first
your 2
because he
questions.
put it in the chat there. He asked, what's the odds for each team to win the championship? I guess maybe if you just rephrase what he said, who do you think is going to win based on their starting lineup for the playoffs, and why?
I mean, I think the top 2 anybody can win. I think K2 is probably favored, but I'd still bet on ourselves. But I think if everybody shows their best lineups, anything can happen. Like it's depends on the map, depends on who's leading, depends on who shows, like whose lag is better than whose. Anything can happen, in my opinion. I still like us winning. Just saying.
I would say I'd be very shocked if it wasn't Cated or Cocaine. I would give it like a 98% chance it's one of those 2 squads.
I agree with that 100%.
Not to disparage, DS Franco or MDR, but I
It's
think
just a
once it
different
comes to
caliber.
playoffs, yeah.
It-
I mean, DS did take Birds or whatever the fuck that squad was last season to, the very last second in the semifinals, and Jersey Boys almost lost to Sparta in the semifinals, but I think the good
I can
teams
see
win out.
Darkslayers. I can see Darkslayers making moves. Like if
did
everybody
last season.
shows.
Yeah. I just think that both K-Dude and Cocaine have another gear, and I think for K-Dude in particular, I really don't think they've been trying this season. I really don't, and I think that in the playoffs, you're going to see them actually flex a little bit and put some effort in.
Okay.
No.
And then I'll do my second question here. Do you think the roster lock was completed too early? Should it be pushed to the last 2 games of the season so that good players can fill out the lower tier teams and balance out the league play? and then leave for the playoffs rather than it being closed on the 3rd week?
I would say no, because what's going to actually happen is once teams are eliminated or they don't think they have a chance, they're just going to flock to the good squads to try to leech a ring.
Yeah, I think it's at a good spot.
And then the playoffs are shit because everybody left, Franco or MDR to join Cocaine or K-Dude, and then there's the semifinals are just not competitive.
Yeah, you gotta make a decision like early. Like it's you can't have this flip flop where it's kind of like a NIL in the basketball or NCAA football. Like you just leave when you go wherever you want. Like that makes no sense. But yeah, anybody else have anything they want to go over, or are we good to go? Sign off.
I think we're pretty long, so should wrap it up.
Yeah, I think we're right at an hour. But yeah, I'd like to thank my producers. We have Victim Recording, MP will be uploading. I'd like to thank my co-hosts, Mecca, Mountain, Rom, special guest Pistor. Thanks for joining in, guys. I'd like to just sign off for the night. You guys want to give your goodbyes?
Ciao. Ciao for now.
Adios.
See ya. We'll see you next week. Maybe have something special for the playoffs with
Ciao.
a little combination. We'll see how that works out. We'll see. But signing off. This is USL After Dark.
Undisturbed, I'm lethal when I got the mic in my hand.
It ain't a problem.
Hit him with the heavy flow, like the levee broke. Need medical, professional, poetic tone. Primed up, let it go. Knock you off your pedestal, let it grow. Stop when we get it full. Eat these beats, they edible. With speech versus verse, my worst curse. Every verse, words murk. Putting a hearse and buried beneath the earth. I keep it church, don't need it curse. Red alert, MC doing work, spewing hurt. Underground, shooting dirt. Let the beat reverse. Sick of me, just another sick MC. Ain't too many quick as me. You be lucky to catch me up in your periphery. Delivery, slippery with rhyme and trickery. Victory, I'm winning G. I smoke these mics like hickory. Swift, spit, linguistic, quick like a fully loaded clip. Trick and shape shift, these ballistics rip. With artistic wit, words and verbs fit. Crack like a whip, pack a hit like a brick. Swift, flip the script and goes.
Most of these cats don't understand. I'm lethal when I got the mic in my hand. Most of these cats don't understand. I'm lethal when I got the mic in my hand.
It ain't a problem.
Got a knife in the back of my mic for any rapper asking to fight it. Anything that I rap is gas, and whatever I spit ignites it. Any feature with me's like ISIS, bringing all this heat and then blown. Illegally lethal, you'll have to find me to ice it. Fidgeting, shaking, hemorrhaging, temperatures raising. Can't figure out if he's crazy, has rabies, possessed by Hades. Debating whether he's losing his mind or he finally found it. Just waiting, either way his tongue is way too lethal to hate it. Made his penmanship undisputed, his positioning is rooted. His place in this music can't be replacing. You knew this, anyone hating can't bring it up to his face. Just computers, face it, you hate he refuted you and you fake to refuse it. Now I'm popping off like Ruger's, my 9 is a shooter cocker. Your 9 is a millimeter cock in a cougar, so sock it. I'm about to blow, I keep ticking, don't have the time for the talk. And the industry's my Nintendo, I've got the game in my pocket. I said
Most of these cats don't understand. I'm lethal when I got the mic in my hand. Most of these cats don't understand. I'm lethal when I got the mic